One of our greatest challenges when interacting with other human beings is knowing if we can trust somebody. Specifically, if you work in the world of commerce and you want to go about doing a business deal with someone, you want to be sure that this person's not going to take advantage of you. We've all heard too many stories of dishonest and unscrupulous people cheating other people of their money and robbing them without them looking. And it's specifically disheartening to know that in every business deal, each party just really wants their own interest. It's not just true about business, though. It's a problem we face in all our interactions, whether it's with our family, with our friends, with our politicians. How do we know if we can trust anyone? How do you know if you can even trust me? It's not possible to give you a definitive guide to know whether you can actually trust somebody or not. In fact, I went and Googled the question, how do you know if you can trust someone? And Google came up with 15 different methods to determine whether someone's trustworthy. But I'm going to tell you one powerful idea that I saw in this week's Hedra, and it's really true. After 40 years of wandering in the desert, the Bnei Yisrael are finally about to enter Eretz Yisrael, the Promised Land. And the tribes of Gad and the tribe of Reuven come to Moshe Rabbeinu with an interesting request. They say, we've looked around and we see that the land here is fertile, it's good for our cattle and our sheep, so let us stay here rather than go over into the land. Now, in making their request, the Bnei Gad throw out a certain sentence. They say, Gidroi soy nivne lemiknenu poi v'orim letapenu. We'll build here pens, we'll build buildings to house our sheep and our cattle, v'orim letapenu, and we'll build cities for our children. Then we'll go and fight, and after fighting and conquering the land, we'll come back. There's a whole discussion that ensues between Moshe and the tribes, but eventually Moshe agrees, and he repeats over all the terms and conditions of the deal, saying an almost identical sentence, albeit with a very subtle change. Build cities for your children and pens for your sheep. It's almost the same, but it's a slight reversal in the order. Don't build for your sheep and then your children, build for your children and then your sheep. Rashi famously points out that Moshe was making a point. He told them, you've put your sheep, your material possession, before your children. Put your children, the priority, before your sheep. Now that in itself is already a powerful lesson, but the Ksav Sofer adds something to it. He says there's 3 extra words that Moshe finishes off his sentence. He says, V'hayotzei mipichem ta'asu. And when you've done that, then keep your promise, do what you said you'll do. The question is, Moshe Rabbeinu's already delineated all the various terms and conditions. Says the Ksav Sofer, Moshe Rabbeinu was telling them, if you're people who know how to prioritize, if you're people who truly put your children before your material wealth, who don't think in terms of your selfish needs, but think in terms of the bigger picture, then I know I can trust you. Then I know that you'll do what you said you'll do. But if you're people who get it wrong, if you're people who think only of your material wealth, and then of your children who are more important, then I don't know if I can trust you. That's true with our friends, it's true with our family, it's true with our politicians. People who think of others are generally going to be more trustworthy than people who only think of themselves.